Hey, what's going on, guys? Brandon with Taylor's Fire and Smoke Cooking. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are making one of my favorites. I haven't made this a while on the channel, but we're going to be doing salmon croquettes or salmon patties. The difference is I'm going to be doing these in the oven, so this is a little bit of a healthier variation than what we typically do. Ingredients are super simple. It's amazing how many people have not known how to make them and have gone to my last video. So this is just an updated version, but a little bit of a healthier version. If there's something that you see that I put in mine that you may not put in yours, then the thing is, don't use it. If you put something in yours that maybe I don't, continue to do that. That's what cooking is all about. We all have our ways. We all do things our own little special way that or with our own little special touch, and that's what makes food great. So let's get into these ingredients. Get started. Really, really simple. Really, really quick, and really,
Let's go
really.
over the ingredients real quick. I have 2 cans of pink salmon here. I have the equivalent of a half of a bell pepper, so I'm using red and green, but it's the equivalent of 1 medium, a half of one. I have a half of a small onion, 2 eggs, some Italian breadcrumbs. You could also use a potato or panko if you want as a binder. I'm going to be doing just a little bit of sandwich bread to help keep it moist since we're going in the oven instead of frying these. I'm using some seafood seasoning, black pepper, granulated garlic, and granulated onion. And that's basically it. Really, really simple. I typically saute my veggies if I'm going to fry them because I don't like them crunchy, but since we're baking them, they have a little bit longer to cook, and I did dice them very, very fine, so they should soften up the way I like when we put them in the oven. All right, family, so let's get started. Now, if you happen to be one who watched my last video, you would have saw that I took a lot of the bones out. That was for video purposes only. I wanted to show you that they are removable if you wanted to. There is calcium and a lot of vitamins in the bone, so typically I do leave them in, and we're going to leave them in today, but I wanted to show you just for video's sake that they could be removed if you wanted to remove some of those. So I have 2 cans of pink salmon. We're just going to put in 2 eggs. Now when I'm frying them, typically it does not take a long time for them to cook, so I like to saute my vegetables beforehand, but since we're going into the oven, I just finely dice them very, very small in order to get the texture I like. I don't like the vegetables crunchy when I make mine. If you do, then more power to you. But again, this is just my recipe. So again, I had a half of a small onion, not even half, about probably just under half of a small onion. Then I had the equivalent of 1 medium-sized bell pepper, so I use red and green bell pepper. To this, we're going to season it with some black pepper. I've had people say you don't need to add sodium, or you don't have to if you don't want to. I just like to add a little bit for flavor. That's what, again, what cooking is all about. We do things to our taste and to our liking. If you are not comfortable with the flavor of your salmon croquettes when you make them, you can season them up prior to adding your egg and give everything a taste. But I've made these so much so I know what I'm doing. But if you don't, you can make up your mix everything up, taste it, and if it tastes to your liking, then you go ahead and add your egg. You don't want to taste it while you put that raw egg in. This is just a little bit of seafood seasoning. I got this from Ross. This is called the Gourmet Collection Spice Blend Seafood Spectacular. Really, really good stuff. Don't sleep on Ross. Little bit of breadcrumb here to help bind it. About 1/4 of a cup of breadcrumb. And just a small little dollop of sandwich bread. Now you could use mayo. I'm not a mayo fan, so I'm just going to go in with a very, very small dollop of sandwich bread. Now you want to give everything a good mix. Make sure that you get everything incorporated really, really well. And we put that sandwich bread in there just to make sure that they don't get dry. It's only going to take about 20 minutes in the oven to cook them. And I generally love my croquettes crispy, so I will bread them with cornmeal and a flour mixture. However, being that we're going in the oven, it won't come out the same. So if you want to add a nice crispy texture to them, then you could coat them in panko breadcrumbs before you put them in the oven, and you will get that nice crispy coating on the outside that you typically may want. Some people don't like them crispy. I do, especially when I'm frying them. So what you want to do essentially, you just want to look at the texture, make sure that they're, if you can see that, see how they're sticking together. So that's perfect. Everything is looking good. So we're gonna go ahead and form these up. Oh, I'm gonna preheat that oven to 425. We're gonna form these up. Then we're gonna get them on the oven. These put together. I do like to wear gloves because this salmon can have a little bit of a smell, leave your hands smelly, similar to tuna or something else. So I have a foil lined baking sheet here. Just gonna spray a little bit of cooking oil on that thing so it have no sticks. I did decide to go ahead and use some panko to get that crispiness. I like mine crispy, I like a little crunch, so I'll show you. We'll just roll it in this panko and you'll be able to get that crispiness that you like if you're like me. So again, I'll typically make mine a little bigger than a sausage patty, maybe the equivalent of 2. You want to try to get them nice and even if you can, similar to that. And you just want to go ahead and put it down in this panko, and that's how it's going to look. Get it on your sheet, and let's continue on as such. Still going to be delicious. I like mine, like I said, I do like a little bit of a crisp. There are a lot of people who don't. I typically only eat mine for dinner, but you can eat them for breakfast as well, or lunch and or brunch. It's totally up to you. So I'm gonna continue to let these, roll these out. Then we'll put them in that 425-degree oven. They're gonna go for about 15 minutes on one side. Then we'll flip them over for about another 5 minutes, and they should be nice and done. All right, family, so there's our croquettes or our patties, nice and even. They're gonna go into a 425-degree oven, 15 minutes, pull them out, flip them another 5, and they'll be ready to go. I do have some extra mix over, so we'll go ahead and make breakfast out of those tomorrow probably, but there you have it. See you guys in a minute. All right, guys, so we've gone 15 minutes in that 425-degree oven. You can see how they're picking up some nice color, so we're just gonna flip these bad boys over and then throw them right on back in the oven for about another 5 minutes or until golden brown and completely done all the way through. They're smelling great, looking amazing. And again, this is just another healthier alternative version to making your salmon croquettes. If you're trying to watch your oil intake and cut back on your cholesterol, try it this way. You won't miss a thing, and it's so much healthier. All right, family, it's been another 5 minutes and our croquettes are done, or our salmon patties are complete, nice, golden brown, and crispy. Smells delicious. I'm just gonna let them cool for just a second, and we'll go ahead and get a bite. See you back in just a second. We're back. Here's that croquette. Smells amazing as always. Like see, it's crispy, not quite as crispy as if you fried it, but using that panko really does the trick. And as always, I like to add a little hot sauce on mine. I know some people use mustard, some people use tartar. Let's dig into that. Woo. If you can see, it's still nice and moist. You can see that steam coming out of there, piping hot. Get a bite. Still fire. Right out the oven. Still fire. Hope you guys enjoyed the recipe. Like, comment, subscribe, share, please, and share. Make you some. A lot healthier version. You don't have all that oil in here. Still get a crisp, still get a crunch, same awesome flavor. Can't beat it out. Till the next time, God bless you all. We'll catch you on the next video.